Today we are in for a real treat. We are joined by chef, restaurateur, author, MBE honoured Romy Gill. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I can't wait for
We
these
can't
guys.
wait. You're excited. We can't wait. Just get to it, quick. This is what I'm here for.
Oh, it's sweet.
It is sweet. It's almost like got a slightly bitter smell as well. It's fruity.
It is fruity. Fruity is the word I was going to go for.
It's earthy as well, though.
It begins with a B.
Nope.
Okay.
Put them out of their misery. What is in that lovely dish?
That's anardana powder, which is dried pomegranate ground.
It's
Pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
Begins with a P. This is like what I said.
I think you said B.
Where would you scatter this on a dish at the end then, or would you use it in the spices?
We will add in the chutneys. You know, sometimes you add the mango, like mango powder. We will add in chutneys, especially Punjabis, and a lot in the meat dishes. It's so sweet, and you get that bite, then you get the sourness. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's it. It's sour. I said it was bitter earlier, but it's
Yeah,
not.
sour.
It's sour.
Sounds silly. Sour sweetness of pomegranate.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what that is.
3 stages there. Perhaps you could explain exactly how this powder's made, or how would it typically be made?
So the fresh, you know, like we have a lot of fruit in India. It's also very seasonal. And then in India, especially, women used to ages and ages. My grandmother or all the women would get together and dry them in the sun. It's like sun-dried tomatoes. Dry them in the sun, or you can dehydrate them in the oven, but in a very, very low heat overnight. And then you get that dryness, but you don't want it to too dry because you need that sweetness to it. And then once it's dried, leave it to rest, and then you can make it into a ground. Or if you're lazy.
Yep. Hello.
No, I wouldn't say lazy. If you don't have time, you can just buy it.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Also, if you like Negroni,
Yes.
soak that water with the dry powder and then, you know, sieve it and put that in Negroni. I love it.
Nice.
It's really
Romy,
good.
you made Ben's eyes light up, and it's only 10 o'clock, which means Ben's about 20 minutes late for his first one of the day.
Fantastic. And what dish are we going to celebrate this ingredient in?
We are making the anardana chicken.
So we're going to have chicken and Negronis.
What a breakfast!
Okay. Okay. Even without Negronis, I'm happy. That is freaking delicious.
And where in the dish would the pomegranate seeds be used?
You can use when you're making the paste. You know, like we have a base is really important with any kind of Indian food, which is like onion, ginger, garlic is the base of Indian curry.
Yeah.
So then you can make in your spice blends, you can put it in there. You can do any kind of addition, however you would like it to be, you know.
And what properties or flavour properties does that add to the dish overall, do you think?
I just think for me, I grew up with my parents using a lot of pomegranate and ardana in there. Not only, but even in dal. If my mum would make paneer dish, she will sprinkle on the top. You know, just to give that kind of, instead of having no lemons or limes, you can actually use that. It's like a, you know, harissa kind of.
Yeah.
So you can have that little bit of that sweetness to it, and then sharpness comes through. And also you have to understand the pomegranate in India will be very different to the pomegranate we use here. They will have a different kind of texture to it as well. And the best is what you can do is a tin potatoes, tin Jersey Royal potatoes, and then that sauce is magic.
I'm so surprised at how new it is to me that pomegranate can be used in other ways other than just the seeds or in molasses. Like having it in a spice blend.
It's almost, in its powdered form, doing a similar job to something like sumac,
Yeah.
which has a similar kind of attribute, except
Absolutely.
here you can sprinkle it onto so many different things, or in the paste right from the start as that foundation flavour. Boys, do you want to try a second one?
Yeah. Yeah. Should we finish this one first, or? I'm going to lift this one.
Yeah, okay.
Pow. Oh,
Get your nose in.
it looks like it could be sweet. No.
Surprising smell.
Give me this.
It's got a funk to it.
Yeah, it's sweet and funky. Oh, and it's in solid crystals.
It originally made me think of something like the palm sugar, which has a name that I can't remember.
Visually.
Jaggery. It made me think of jaggery.
Visually, perhaps, but definitely not on the nose.
Where did that come? That's been stored in there.
Well, bravo. You should take a short holiday.
Yeah, I might.
Did you enjoy it?
I'm sweating a bit now.
It's really funky. Bite into it, it's like got the texture of a nut. Oh, whoa! Right at the end, it goes really bitter. Oh, it's not sweet at all. Oh,
What? Is that natural?
it keeps going.
Oh.
It's really grassy and bitter, like as it gets to the back of your throat.
That changed 4 times.
Yeah, it keeps changing.
Unlike the
Oh, it's
pomegranate.
really peppery now.
Really peppery.
What's happening? Oh no, now it's gone.
Now I've got cardamom.
Yeah, now it's gone cardamom. Well, that's got about 8 stages to it.
So you wouldn't eat it like that?
No.
And you wouldn't want to kiss anyone after this.
So it's an ingredient that I think we might have used once or twice in the 14 years of doing Sorted, but I'd never seen it in this form. Romy brought this in. What is it?
Asafoetida.
Asafoetida. I have heard of that, and I have used it, but in a powder, not in crystal form. And it's not that intense in a powder, that's for sure. Yes.
So what is it and where does it come from?
It's a root, so you kind of dry them and then powder them like that. And a lot of people who don't eat garlic, that's what they will use because it's got that garlicky flavor. But I just love it. You know, if you eat Southern Indian food with curry leaves, with mustard seeds, it balances so beautifully.
So what dish are we going to use this in today?
It's in kachori. It's like a deep fried snack in India. It's really delicious, and we're serving with a green chutney and ketchup. I think ketchup, while growing up in India, was a very must thing.
I can't wait.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So, what exactly are these? What are they made of?
So kachoris is made with plain flour, and we'll use ghee or oil or a little bit of salt. You can add ajwain, anything like that in when you're making the dough. So you make the dough separate, the filling is separate. It's like samosas but in a different way. So in the filling we have the asafoetida, which is the ground powder which we've used, and spices and peas. You can add potatoes, you can even add lentils in it as well. Urad dal, which is we use quite a lot, and some states will use chana dal. So different ways of different formats and different ways. Some will add onions to it, but you know, you can vary it. But one of the key ingredients is the asafoetida, and then they will also add a little bit of sugar that gives you that sugarness. But dip it in the ketchup first and see the difference with the chutney and with the ketchup. I think ketchup is universal language.
Ketchup's a really interesting addition in my mind. I wouldn't necessarily associate it.
I think ketchup for me, it's emotion growing up in India.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I went to college, and then we used to have any street food was related to ketchup. So I thought, why not have that?
Is it like standard, like Heinz ketchup, for example?
No.
No, okay.
We have different ones. We have the spicy one, we'll have Kisan or Maggi, or all different kind of ketchups that we grew up.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I instantly looked at that and thought it's going to be very curried. Like there's going to have, the garam masala type flavour profiles. It's completely different. Would you then grate that or crush it or in a pestle and mortar?
I mean, you can use like that too, but you have to use very little.
Yes.
Yeah, we ate quite a bit of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to use very little because it's so overpowering. Even with the powder, you can use half a teaspoon or teaspoon depending on how much you're cooking. But never ever go overboard of chucking it more,
So it doesn't become the standout flavour, it's kind of that base flavour.
It'll become so bitter you won't be able to eat it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those spices you can absolutely get, certainly in UK supermarkets, because it begins with A and they're often alphabetical. It's normally like top left and kind of overlooked amongst all the C's of the spices, but it's kind of there. I think people in the UK just don't know how to use it, and that's why this is super interesting.
We're being absolutely spoiled.
Spoiled in here,
Yes.
but also in here.
Yeah.
But I have been told, I don't know how much true that is, that actually asafoetida is an aphrodisiac.
I thought I felt you rubbing my leg.
Wasn't with my hands.
Okay. Time for number 3.
Time for number 3, I think. Number 3, have a spin.
Oh! It's a pressure cooker. It's a pressure cooker.
It is a pressure cooker.
It's a pressure cooker.
They've got it this time.
So we've used a pressure cooker on and off on the show, but why is it so important in Indian cuisine?
I think in India, while growing up and now as well, every household is going to have, because a lot of guests will go uninvited as well to your house, and we always make sure we feed our guests. Because years ago, you have to understand, we didn't have social media, phones and things like that.
People just rock up.
You have to actually talk to people. Yeah.
Villages still everybody don't have it, So pressure cooker is something each household will have couple. I even had in my restaurant, because sometimes if I wanted to boil the meat, so it's tender, it was brilliant. And lentils is something I think if you want to make it very quickly, it's a great, and soup, it's like 10-minute soup. It's the most delicious soup you can make. But I just think having that in your home, I find it really, really
that's
good
the
thing
first
to
time I've
have.
ever heard. Yeah, that it's really commonplace in
Yes.
Indian homes. I didn't know
It is.
that.
Every household will have one or two.
Wow. Okay.
So with the pressure cooker, we're going to put it to good use in a 4th cloche lift where we make a 3rd dish.
And you're going to cook.
I'm going to cook.
Oh,
We're going to get Romy in the
that's
kitchen.
better. Good.
Well, the kitchen just got a lot happier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamie, lift the cloche on number 4.
Lentils.
They have a different name. We call it black, but they're urad dal. So I thought everybody knows dal makhani. But, people go out to eat dal makhani. We will make dal makhani in a pressure cooker, easy to make at home, that if you want to make it in abundance, make it big quantity, and then you can freeze it.
Excellent.
So this we are going to make in the pressure cooker. So if you're going to give me the pressure cooker here, please. The lentils go in, but make sure you rinse these lentils few times so that you get a clear water on the top and drain the water. So once you've rinsed and everything that's done, you just add water to it. So I'll add like less of that. If I need more, if I need in the paste, I'll add that more as well. And here, I'll add some butter. You can add ghee as well. I think butter is really nice. And then chilies, just take this. And sometimes a lot of people in India will grate some ginger as well. They'll add the warmth that comes out. So this is a spice box. Have you seen the spice box before?
I saw this spice box last week for the first time and got given it.
I think it's really good because usually I have a pantry at home, but I also keep this because then I'm not touching the bottles and making them sticky.
Yeah, it's all in one place.
Yes. So this is turmeric. I think it's a really good thing to have. And then salt. I think that salt will go in there. And do you know the name of these spices?
Go on.
I think we have mustard seeds.
Yes.
Yes.
And the black mustard seeds are more better than the yellow ones because they have more taste, I think more.
I think we had fennel.
No, that's cumin.
That's cumin.
Chili. Yeah. And then you can smell that. If it's sweeter is coriander.
Coriander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all you do this, and then you put it on the hob. We will let the pressure build and work on it in magic for 30 minutes. I would like you to check the pressure.
Would you have a check on it after, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Maybe?
I would do 20 to 25 minutes. I would check it because if you're not used to a pressure cooker and new to your pressure cooker, then yes. But the Indian pressure cookers are different because they give you the whistle. I know for this dal, I need 6 whistles. For this, I need 8 whistles. You know that? I know.
Yeah.
What happens is you might burn your lentils.
And if you weren't using a pressure cooker and the wonders that every Indian household has, how long would that take?
If you don't have a pressure cooker, it will take 2 to 3 hours depending on the lentils. And now we don't want to waste our energy. We want to save every penny. So that is, I think, is brilliant to have this. And this is what we made earlier. So let that do its magic. So what I sometimes have is a potato masher. If you see the lentils need a little bit more love to them. So you just, with a potato masher, do that.
So you're squashing them?
Yes. We'll let that do that beautifully and we'll make this a paste. The base is the most important thing. For dal or anything else you're making, cook it separately and then you add it. So if you're making, let's say, meat, so we make all the onion, ginger, garlic, tomato, we add all the spices, then we'll add the meat.
So it's not all cooking in together from the start?
No.
You're not flavouring the meat to begin with?
We marinate sometimes,
Yep.
depending on how region you come from, but usually that's how we do. And now we're going to add some ghee. And also you have to understand a difference between a ghee and a clarified butter. So ghee is made with white butter.
Okay.
Clarified butter is made from butter. So ghee is made from cream of the white.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's very different things.
Okay.
And don't be scared, I love my ghee. So make sure your pan is always hot. When you're using your pan is hot, the oil or the butter will expand. Then you'll be using less of it, you know? And just make sure you're keeping an eye on your lentils as well. If it's high heat you're doing it on, make sure you have eyes everywhere.
And a dish like this is so nutritious but also affordable. Like when lentils or any legume is the base of a dish, it becomes the nation's staple.
It is so good. I think also people think it's going to take so long, and also when you go to a supermarket, all you pick up is the red lentils. Please, there is more to lentils than just red lentils, you know. We have so much abundance, and each lentil does different things to your body. So we'll just add ginger garlic together in here. It's grated. So Indian cooking, mostly I do on a gas. So I will cook my onions on a very, very high heat because I don't want the onions to absorb the oil. So that's where people make mistake. When you're cooking onions, make sure it's a high heat and you're continuously stirring it. Okay, ginger garlic, I would put it on a medium heat, you know. So make sure this is like light brown, and once they're light brown, we just add our green chilies. So we add that, and what we're going to do here, add a little bit of salt again into this one. So we're going to add a little bit of salt.
I've got it.
Like a half a teaspoon, please. Perfect. So now this is methi. So this is not methi seeds. This is dried fenugreek leaves. So the texture of seeds, flavor of fresh, and a dried is very different. Okay. So this is a very, very important in dal makhani. So we're going to add that in there. Also here you can add red chili powder as well if you want to. Mostly people do. I got some garam masala in there as well. Then the tomato puree. So here we'll add the leftover water a little bit in here. Tiny drops.
It smells incredible.
And a little bit of cream.
It's amazing how quickly that's come together.
So this thing is eventually going to go in there.
Right.
So also this is kind of a base to, if you want to do a cheat butter chicken, you can do what I did, exactly use that recipe. But quite more or less, this is the base for butter chicken, but with tomatoes and stuff.
So will that reduce down?
That's going to reduce down, yeah. So when I come next time, you guys can make me a dal makhani then. No, actually, me and Kush will be 2 chefs, and you guys can, we'll bring in a bag like a ready steady cook, and you guys can then cook for us, and we'll be the judge of it.
Was it 2 seasons of Ready Steady Cook?
Yes.
How did you find that pressure of 20 minutes on the go?
I love it. It's actually, I always won on 10-minute challenges. They were the best. I made dumplings in 10 minutes. Pork dumplings in 10 minutes.
Excellent.
And I won that. So there you go. That's it. There you go.
Beautiful.
Done.
Always a delight to be cooked for.
To stir the ghee through?
Yes, please. See? You get that skin layer on the top. That means it's just creamy and...
Beautiful. Cheers.
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 Just be careful, it's hot.
I always think lentils, beans,
gosh.
and chana, some of the most humble ingredients. It tastes that good.
Yeah, all you need is a flatbread and dip in it, you know, it's
That
just
is
so filling.
Such a comforting
We
dish.
should have a dal makhani, you know, selling dal makhani and flatbreads. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to eat that forever.
And is this one of the recipes in the new cookbook?
Yes, I'm excited about it. I always say it should have been my first book because it's Romy Gill's India, not anybody. It's my recipes from home, recipes of 2 kitchens where I grew up and when I went to summer holidays to see my grandparents. And then a little bit about the restaurant, which I don't want to give too much away because then I might write another book for me. But I like telling a story because that's very important for me. Telling a story, where it's come from, where I've learned from, and also acknowledge people who've always helped you along the way. I think it's really, really important. So dal makhani is very special in my heart, and I wanted people to make that at their homes.
Amazing.
Tastes
Well,
amazing.
thank you so much for coming and sharing your wisdom with us. It's been delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about asafoetida.
No, not at all.
I can still taste it. Yeah.
Now I know where to use it.
And of course, you can check out loads more from Romy in the links down below. Head over to her website and read a whole bunch of your writing because it's all over the internet and it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.